Very true.
And unfortunately, like Pastor Buddy mentioned, we are leaving the fine finishes to people who have no training, because our society thinks when you have failed academically, then you go and be a mason, you go and be a seamstress. That is why every time a seamstress sew for you, they always have to go and do alteration, they have to go and do a fitting. It's not because they are daft, but it's the person doesn't understand fractions. So if you measures your sleeve and it is your sleeve length, and let's say it's 14 inches, they can't appreciate what 1/8 of an inch is. So they look for the closest whole number. Yeah. Then when you come and do the fitting, they pin up, and then, so that's the challenge. My mother is a seamstress. She's been doing this since she was 18. My mother is now 76. That's the only profession she's practiced. And she tells me that is the biggest challenge she has had in her industry, where because of the lack of understanding of fractions, she always has to supervise everything, no matter how many years of training that she puts them through, because she takes precision. My mother can look at people's pictures, right, and sew for them that this person's a size, this person's a size, that. And it is sent outside, and the person wears it, and there's no flaw.
It fits perfectly.
And this is a middle school Form 4 labor. So it should tell you, and that's the equivalent of GHS today. So it should tell you the quality of what they had back then and how watered down it is today. Because if that person at that level can demonstrate the level of skill, and we have people who are SS graduates, and she still has to supervise them, even to write the measurements. It's a miracle service when you want. Some of them writing, they call the 3/4. They don't know how to write the 3/4. They can't write it in words. They can't write as a fraction. And it's quite a pain to watch 3/8 and those things. They can't figure it out.
A miracle service, you say.
Yeah.
Well, because I agree with that, because I have a friend, Von Sinu Designs. Anytime I go to her shop, she's quite worried about, workers, the quality of workers that come to her shop. They are unable to catch her vision.
Exactly.
Be able to, so every project that comes, she has to be there to make sure it is done.
You struggle to delegate.
Right.
Even some of your hair stuff that the ladies do. Some of the scalping and painful things you get in your hair, because the people can't read what is on the label. So you might as well read your stuff, you get what I'm saying? And then tell them when you get there that you don't leave this thing in my hair more than 8 minutes. At this point, you must do that. They may first brand you as too known. Then they'll realize that, since Auntie B had the lucky, she's never complained about her scalp, getting burnt. Right. Maybe I should use her formula for
and sometimes what they do is that they will let you keep the time yourself.
Exactly.
Come back there
and it's better, do that and save your head than getting it roasted,
But now, isn't it even sad that in looking at these people that the society is struggling with, and some of these people make it to the classrooms, and they are training our future leaders.
Exactly.
That's a big mess.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, let's get back to still on exams. Government to replace Ghana School of Law admissions with National Bar exams. Some people are very excited about this, because then it means that you don't have to go and write an exam, and then they will now call you to say that's okay, you can be part and you cannot be part. If you fail the exam, that's it. Well, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has announced a sweeping reform to Ghana's legal education system that would abolish the current Ghana School of Law admission structure and replace it with a national bar examination. The proposed changes outlined during the Government Accountability Series in Accra on Monday, July 28, 2025, are part of new legal education bill expected to be submitted to Cabinet in August. The reforms aim to decentralize professional training and expand access to the bar for all qualified LLB graduates. Now, under the new model, it says students who obtain LLB degrees from accredited universities will undertake 1-year bar practice program. So that's more like you're doing, is it attachment, we call it?
So in my field, for example, you actually do that.
You do that,
you have
right?
to do that. So that's what I was talking about, that you do at least a year to 18 months, and then you are logging in your book.
Right,
because you are going to practice law. You are not going to be rattling.
So that we don't have lawyers who only know cases and then the ruling.
I'm telling you.
Apply it in the courtroom.
Exactly.
I see. And Dr. Ayini stated, well, let's get back to that. It says that universities will be allowed to provide practical legal education internally, and then successful students will write national bar exam, just like what is done by the Institute of Chartered Accountants.
Exactly.
And then the Chartered Architects. Or
Exactly.
Okay, then I think that this is really cool. You want to add something to it?
Yeah,
It's like it just falls into your first submission.
Exactly.
Really.
My only thing I'm going to add here is that I know also there's a strong clamoring for Makola alone not to become the only place where the LLB holders go for their training. And I think some schools are being given a necessary permit. We need to understand that this new model, may create a situation where we are going to have a higher intake. So I think that just like the conundrum of the free SHS, this move must go hand in hand with expanding facilities and access.
Right.
You understand? Because that is what frustrates the good ideas we always have. Sometimes it's not so well thought through that we have a lot of infrastructural gaps when it comes to the implementation phase. So free SHS was good. We are having more people entering senior high school, but it's the same buildings, same dining halls, same libraries. How does it work? So then same food, then we come up with all these congestion issues. So my only caution here will be that the possibility of having larger student intake is very much connected to this new move. Therefore, if we have to expand the facilities in Makola, if we are going to get other schools to come in, government should quickly facilitate the process and make sure that people have the access, because the danger is when people are not well trained and they are released, I'm telling you, they can become such fantastic disasters. You would not even want to imagine. And just like what Pastor Buddy said about some of the teachers speaking dangerous English.
Very terrible.
A few times I've also heard lawyers, and I wonder, so wow.
Are you a lawyer?
Maybe, because I've seen people who are very good in they can write very well, but when they start to speak, the English seems to be quite chaotic. I remember one of our finance ministers, the Osafomafo, there's a way he used to pronounce certain words, and it used to make me laugh. So we want to present, he will never say present them, but you want to present the budget. They speak the very old Gold Coast type of, English. And it used to fascinate me so much, want to present the budget, there's the fiscal, when the way you use fiscal policy, I always used to think it was the word physical, and they couldn't pronounce it well. Until later I found that it was FIS.
Yeah.
But it's fiscal policy, So sometimes people's enunciation of the words and all that. So let's not get the legal profession watered down. If more people are going to come in through this door, let's create also access so that as many people as possible, when they get in, can have quality training, so that we don't fall short.
Yeah. Is Pastor Buddy still there?
I'm sorry, the hiccup.
Oh, okay.
The internet
it's always good to be in the studio.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, right.
And I agree. I agree with what Reverend Didi is saying. I agree fully with what he's saying. I spoke to a number of my lawyer friends when this news broke, and I was asking them what they thought about it. And I was asking them because they're under a lot of pressure. Some of them live in Accra and they go to court in Ho, they go to court in New Ebrim, they go to court in Kufuridua. And I'm like, aren't there lawyers there? Or is it that you are the few good ones that everybody wants to come to? And I'm like, no, there are very few lawyers. And again, Ghana Legal Aid has been crying for a long time. They are understaffed. Personally, I've been to courts a number of times where there was an accused person standing in a box of a very serious crime, sometimes murder. And the lawyer didn't come. The lawyer didn't show up.
Oh.
And I remember one time the judge was very angry, and he said if the next time he calls this case and the lawyer doesn't show up, that the accused person should report that there is a process that he can go through and report the lawyer. Because if you have signed up to take a certain case, you have to come to court. Which one is you are busy, or you can't come to court and all these things? And maybe the court was this was a Cape Coast High Court. It happened in Cape Coast. So imagine if the person is coming from Accra and this person doesn't have a lot of money to give him, like maybe most times they'll take fuel money and stuff like that. If this guy doesn't have money to give him, to buy fuel, he will not be motivated. But yes, probably nobody should go to court without representation. I believe that's what legal aid is there for.
Yeah.
They will be assigned to them pro bono and they'll be paid by the government. But the main issue here is it okay for us to open the floodgates for everybody to enter? Madam Sophia Kufu has been of a long-standing view that no, it is the profession, the profession. And so, I mean, a few people should be able to. I disagree. I totally disagree. It's just like the way we are always complaining about the doctor-patient ratio, but we also have made the entrance exam for medicine. So, I mean, in places like the US, you can do visual arts and still end up a doctor because there's a way to enter, to switch. In Ghana, if you didn't do science, forget it. Forget it. If you didn't do science, just go to bed. Even if you did something close to science, just forget it. And I remember one of my good friends in the US, he's a PhD person in Georgia, University of Georgia. He was talking about how that one of his professors was very shocked, the lady, when she got to learn that in Ghana, people are made to choose their careers in secondary school. It's like, at that age, what do they know? How do they even know what they want to do in the future? Why not just prepare them so that they can enter any field? And that's what they do over there. So you end up with a lot more of these professionals. Now, the problem with opening up the Ghana School of Law exams and making it a national bar exam is that now more campuses will be taking the course. LLB, all campus public universities that offer LLB will be able to prepare their students for the national bar exam. Lecturers, that's one big issue. That's the first issue I saw with this, lecturers. You see, the GSL now foots the bill and also takes lead on recruitment of lecturers. And right now, they have very quality lecturers. Some of them are even judges. During the recent vetting for the Supreme Court judges, said, Dominic, when he was speaking, I was like, hey, we have such people in Ghana. I mean, he's asked a question, he said, oh, have a book on it. There are about 2 or 3 questions, and he has written a book on it. The man is so knowledgeable. Now, when the thing is opened, University of Ghana, UCC, Tech, UPSA, Game Park, these are the ones I can mention off the top of my head. How are they going to get the lecturers of that quality to be able to make sure that the program is running effectively? These are some of the issues. And like Reverend Bibi was saying, issues of infrastructure. KJT, the law school there, for some time, they were even attending lectures in the KNUST library. And these are some of the things that we need to look at to make sure that if we are going to take such a step, even though it's a good step, it doesn't end up becoming terrible because we're not prepared for it. So we have to look at the infrastructural side. We have to look at the human resource side. We have to also look at the motivation. Because if Legon is paying better than Tech, then most of the lecturers will be concentrated in Legon and not Tech. It's going to be a problem. And so we have to make sure that the implementation part of the thing goes very well. Other than that, to be shooting ourselves in the foot again. We will just be chasing shadows again, which has always been the case. Very nice ideas, poor implementation, disaster.
Anyway,
It's a problem.
It's a huge problem. I think I was having a conversation with some. They are into learning disabilities, trying to help children, dyslexia, good, and they were also talking about good implementation, good policies, but very terrible implementation that also even affects the children, right, who already feel left out of the society.
Exactly.
It's a big mess. Well, let's get on with some law cases. Dufour's case. Big issue, right? Not yet a disaster. Well, we're still... Minority is upset about the fact that Dufour seems to be having it easy. They said to rescind or resign, depending on where you woke up from, the decision or face us in court. Minority says to Attorney General Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayini to immediately reverse the decision to discontinue high-profile criminal case against Dr. Kwabena Dufour and 7 others of face legal action. Addressing journalists on Monday, 28, the ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Kwame Enyimadu Enchi, criticized the Attorney General's decision to enter a nollie prosequi.
It's Enimedu.
Enimedu. Oh, I'm an away. Just forgive me. Oh, don't do that.
Which one is Enimedu?
Enimedu. Enimedu. Do. A nollie prosequi, a legal procedure to drop charges in the Republic versus Kwabena Dufour and 7 others. Now, the case stemmed from alleged financial crimes uncovered during the Bank of Ghana's financial sector cleanup exercise, with Unibank at the center of the controversy, and a staggering 5.7 billion Ghana cedis, Lord Jesus, reportedly accounted for. Well, now we're not supposed to quote all these in dollars, would have been, shaking by now, and all of that. Well, the crux of the issue is that the minority are not excited about this. The questions they are asking is this: what is the legal basis for the 60-40 recovery policy? And was it ever made public or approved by Parliament? Because they don't seem to know about it. Why was no court-supervised plea bargain or conviction secured as required under Section 35 of the Courts Act? And these are the concerns that they're raising. Some also think that there seem to be some sort of conflicts of interest because the Attorney General happened to be one of the legal representations of Kwabena Dufour when the case started. And now that he's representing the state, there seems to be some sort of conflict of interest right there. Reverend Bibi, why are you smiling a lot? Just fire away.
I feel a little disappointed.
Why?
Because it throws a wrench, into the spoke wheel of the whole oral agenda.
Right.
And again, it re-echoes the damage that politics and politicians keep doing to this our dear nation. You never know whether they mean what they say or what they are saying is what they mean.
Because the excitement when oral came.
Exactly. Because again, if you had listened to the whole statement that the Attorney General made, when they got to the oral, because of this particular issue, for the first time, he was making concessions that even though oral stands for Operation Recover All Loot, the all here is being used advisedly because, legally speaking, we can't always have all of the loot. And he gives some very exciting and interesting reasons for that. Sometimes the loot has been expended in a way that you cannot have it back. Sometimes the assets are not the assets that you will get. The assets are non-existent. When they are not, when even they are existent, when you take hold of them and you try to dispose of them to get the money, you don't get up to the value of what it is that has been stolen, and so on and so forth. And then he also added that sometimes the loot is not with the culprit per se, but they supervised the looting and for which they are held culpable and all that. So why lead us on? It's just like I meet me at the line, I tell you, I'm going to give you the wedding of a lifetime. I mean, the whole world hasn't seen that wedding before. Now I come and tell you, but we have to be careful about the weather if it doesn't rain, because I want to have it at the beachfront. So if it rains, the pergola supplier who is going to supply the pergola for where we'll say our vows, if he delivers on time, and I really wanted TD Jakes to come. I don't know whether he will get a flight. Then you start to wonder, so what is the wedding of a lifetime now if there are so many ifs and variables within the equation, and in all sincerity, I feel quite disappointed, right. And especially coming from this Attorney General. He's come with a lot of verve, a lot of energy, and it seems to me the president has given him all the freedom to deal with anyone, including even his own appointees.
Right.
And it already issued, a letter to Yoko to investigate Yamin and the third vice, chairman of the party. I thought actually these guys, their bullets doesn't know party colors. Once you fall in the line of fire, you're going to go down. And then, with what has happened today, I'm quite disappointed. First and foremost, that Dr. Kwabena Dufo actually contested their primaries tells you that he's no mean person in the party. And that, this 60%, what signal are we sending? So if I can just hold 60% of whatever money I steal in trust, just keep it there and just sort out myself with a 40, I can fall within the bracket. In fact, I would even do 35 and give the 65% back. I even did better than Uncle KD, and so on and so forth. I don't know where all this is going, but it's not pretty, it's not funny, it's not nice. And, I don't know, but I feel a little let down, you see. And I would have wished, that a statement was made by Kwabena Dufo and his legal counsel to plead that, our assets are not in good condition to be liquidated to meet the full payment. We've been able to pay up to X amount, and we are willing to top up to whatever quantum it will get to, then maybe subsequent to that statement, AG comes to tell us, well, in our negotiations and all that, we have done up to 60% or 65%. The assets that are there, A, B, C, D, E, even if we liquidated, we'll not be able to get all our money back. And on that basis, maybe, X, Y, Z is the position of the government. But to let it look like it's sort of a policy position, and that we can't recover all, it's a very lame and weak argument. And it's opening the floodgates for all sorts of funny things to happen. I am terribly disappointed and very, 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 very unhappy, to say the least. And I mean, if people can start raising funds to hit the 60% threshold, I'm sure they are going to work. So what was all this Yoko locking people up for a week? People come to sit on the streets. Just a charade. I mean, it's like, I don't like it when patriotism is trounced this way. And I don't know what the presidency is going to do about it. But I wish this thing was not made public at this time. It's made me lose interest even in following up all the other cases, whether it's a Dubois here or Wontumi or Professor Amaya Kumfi or whatever. Because we may just realize, we may just hear that, one of them fell down in court, was begging and said he'll give even 70%. And so, we have called him behind closed doors and we are sorting it out. Because I don't think that if people stole goods, ordinary citizens stole goods, listen, I've only eaten the head of the goat. The rest is in the freezer. I'm prepared to return it. I'm prepared to return it. So I'm begging the judge. I mean, somebody made an allusion like that, and then the Attorney General referred to it in his speech that when you use the good thing, it's an oversimplification. Mind you, God forbid, if Dr. Dufo had been jailed and the good thief had been jailed, they will not go to different prisons. They will not be dealt with different circumstances of being penalized. So why are we doing this to ourselves? It's almost like when you are influential and powerful, we want to find out from you what kind of punishment you are willing to take for your offense. But when you are Mr. Nobody, Charlie, let the law be applied to its full rigor so that
the law is the law.
And we are rather filling our prisons and the place is choked with people who could have been giving community service. And then big things like this. And you know what is annoying, Pastor Buddy? This thing is supposed to have been 5.7 billion. It's been reviewed down to 3.3 billion. This morning, in your briefing, you are telling us that an additional 189 million has been found in national service. You see, even the 0.7 behind the 5 billion of Dr. Dufour's case is bigger than all the national service money. So why do we leave an elephant and go chasing a bush rat? Because it makes good political music. I don't think it is good, And if there is something that is going to cast President Mohammed's government in a bad light, it is one of these unfortunate moves by the Attorney General, I must say.
Pastor Buddy?
Issues of the law, we can't play with them. And I agree totally with everything that Reverend Bibias. I think he said the point is very clear. This is going to be a shadow that will follow the Mahama government if they don't look at it properly. It's not a matter of party colors. The minority has been making noise about a lot of very needless things. So this one that is important, people are not really paying attention. That's what happens when you cry wolf. They are making a very good point. And the conflict of interest issue that they raise is a very,
serious.
very scary thing. How can you allow the one who was a legal counsel for the man to be determining the fate of the same man? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. And so if there's anything that the government can do or will do with respect to this case to make sure that the justice that we are saying we are looking for is applied equally to everybody across the board. We don't want any shakara things here. We are not interested in any shakara. This man, Dr. Dufour, will have to go through the same regiments. You know, at Wesi, it was the same thing.
Exactly.
He could produce some part of the money.
30 million out of the 90 million.
Mm-hmm.
So why was he jailed then? What are we doing? So if you say, okay, his own wasn't up to 60%, no, you are still not being fair. You are still not being fair. We are not even talking about millions of cedis. We are talking about billions. And we are talking about a cash-strapped government that needs all the money it can get from all the people who have mismanaged stuff. We don't want to get into the... Dr. Ayini is a very respected lawyer.
Very much
Very
so.
respected lecturer of the government.
Very, very.
Yes, he's been here for a very long time. He doesn't need to go down this road. He doesn't need to go down this road at all. And like Reverend Bibi was saying, he's beginning to make concessions about, oh, the oral, no, we can, hey, please. That's not what we started. We don't want to hear any stories. If we are going to deal with people who have stolen money, then let's deal with all of them.
Right.
And let's deal with all of them.
Right.
But it's not about, we can't even say he's stolen money or he's not stolen money because the thing needs to go to court. And again, they were even raising issues about, even if it is a plea bargain that you plan, there are laws that govern plea bargains. You can't just circumvent all those laws because you're attorney general. And again, this issue raises the very, very critical, I think this is an administrative issue. Whenever you have an attorney general who is obviously going to be a lawyer, who is going to oversee all government cases, going to argue on behalf of the government, having to be involved in a prosecution of a matter that involves one of his former clients, there must be a provision in the law to recuse himself.
Yeah.
Or that maybe the deputy will take lead on it, or this particular issue needs to be addressed because it leaves a very big gap in the administration of the Attorney General's powers. It can't be that somebody who was an accused person's former lawyer is the one taking lead on prosecuting this same person. You have inside information on the person's dealings. If you are the person's lawyer, then you know everything about the person's position on the case. Why would you now be the one to no. Even a young, and these are the issues we expect Okujato and Co to be making noise. These are the things we expect those people who say they stand for integrity and have been making noise in our years with oral all these years. This is the time we need them to get up and say no. Dr. Kwabena Dufour and Reverend Bibi made the point that I hadn't really thought about it too, that the man was contesting for flag bearer in NDC. He could have potentially have been the president by now. Mm-hmm. He could have been the president. And so we don't need this kind of bad press. It doesn't just look good it's not a bad look for the government, it's a bad look for the country. And we are making very good strides, in our corruption fight. We are attracting foreign investors, we are doing well. We are making sure that people have a confidence in the Ghanaian economy and the Ghanaian money space again. Let's not thwart it with this very ill thought of move. Let's do what we need to do. Let's do the right thing. Dr. Ayini should kindly, respectfully, and honorably step aside in this issue, and let's have a smooth case running. Let's go to court. If he has evidence, he has things that he can defend himself with. The judges are there. They are competent enough to listen and to be able to decide what to do. 60-40, we don't know where it's coming from. We don't know where this 60-40 thing is coming from. And like Reverend Bibi is saying, it's true. I will spend 30%. I will even do you one better. I will do 30. You can take the 70. Because if I steal 5.6 billion, 30% of 5.6 billion can settle my family for life. It's still in the billion. It's still in the billions.
Corruption.
We will not work again in our lives till we die. We will not work again. So 30%, I will invest the 70 for you, get interest. I'll pay the 70 and then I'll manufacture excuses for the rest. Look at such a handsome, honorable looking man. Let's not do this.
Well, we have just a few minutes to go. But I want us to touch on the national security operatives allegedly stormed Forestry Commission to demand office closure. I saw the video yesterday.
For what reason?
Let me just read. It's all about this Galamsey thing. So, over 15 fully armed men, believed to be national security operatives, yesterday surrounded and effectively shut down the offices of the Forestry Commission in Bekwai district of the Ashanti. Look, the one who took the video, you could see that the person was taking his stealth. Like, it was such a mess. The unexpected and forceful presence disrupted official duties for the day, leaving the staff and onlookers in a state of shock and confusion. According to the bewildered officers on the scene, the national security operatives arrived unannounced and informed them they were acting by orders from above to close the offices and take possession of the keys. I mean, the precise reasons for the drastic measure remain officially undisclosed, fueling intense speculation. If I have to wake up to go to work and this is what I'll be facing, what's the point in working for the nation? I'd rather look for a private company that will even pay me more. Sources within the commission who, forgive me, excuse me, who requested anonymity due to the sensitive nature of the situation, revealed that staff have been under significant pressure and even direct threats for their active role in arresting illegal miners within the vital Oda River Forest Reserve. So this is there's a program that's in the cracker, and saying the cracker of the matter is that illegal miners are upset. And so, because of that, they have people looking like, because I am not sure that the national security would send operatives without an official letter or warrant, backing them. And then this is where we are.
The reason why I said I was very disappointed with the Attorney General's thing is for things like these, you see. The Galamsey struggle has become difficult because both sides of the political divide have influential people who have been fingered publicly and privately of being culpable in that unfortunate act. So you see, for the NDC guys who might be involved, their belief is that, so now we must have the leeway to also flow because those other guys were arresting and stopping us.
You muddied the water more
so exactly. So that's exactly, you muddied the water more than us, So that is exactly the same thing that will play in the corruption case, where it will be like, we even got 60%. We did better than you. There's somebody who come and now, like Pastor Buddy said, come and okay, we have upped it to 70%.
70.
So in the end, who suffers? The ordinary Ghanaian who keeps keeping hope in the politician, trusting that when I make a change, I'm going to get a different outcome. And you only get a slightly modified version. It's almost like you order an iPhone, and then it comes, and then this one, you can't dim the screen. Then it comes the same function, but they've only added an ability to dim the screen. So in the end, you really didn't get an improvement.
Right.
Just one more function to either dim or brighten the screen, which most of us don't use. Then you get another version that it dims or brightens automatically depending on the light intensity where you are in. So one is manual, one is automatic, but it's the same iPhone 16 Pro Max. You get what I'm saying? So that is what is happening with us. It's very unfortunate that, someone can go and do this, and the main motivation is that this same forest reserves we are saying we are not going to mine in, someone is in it and is doing all that. Because mind you, one of the reasons why Wontumi is being prosecuted is that he went into a forest reserve. And this is an Oda forest reserve. So when you were in opposition, NDC, you said we would totally expunge that particular law. Then you come and you say we'll rather do an amendment. To what?
Right,
To what?
I get it. So exactly. I don't even understand.
You see, because again, it's giving us room to have all this political hazakes and maneuvering that is going on. So sometimes I don't even know whether we mean well, whether we just want political power. When will somebody put Ghana first and say, damn the consequences, I want to do what is right for my nation? I know my party will not like me. I know some of my friends and loved ones will not like me. But ultimately, Ghana will win and posterity will judge me well. I don't know who will bite that bullet. I told you I was watching the new president of Botswana. He said, the procurement system is fraught with delays. So people come to power who have good intentions, but those delays don't make them deliver. He said, take me on record. I will not follow any procurement system. After I don't want to prosecute him when he's gone, but he will get the job done. He said he has not slept for more than 4 hours since he became president because every night he's awake because he's promised his country people that minimum wage will come to, I don't know whether it's $2,500 or whatever, that he is going to ensure that it is done. He said, I am an unhappy man. I'll be happy when the last Botswanian is happy. Then we all can be happy and then relax and throw parties. But until then, we are going to work. When will, you see, and he said that what I'm saying, my own people don't like it. I'm unpopular with them. But we must start to put Botswana first. When will we have leaders like that rising in Africa who say, listen, I would do it or die trying? This thing is just going to go on. And I'm sure this is what the news has captured. I'm sure there are other ones that have not come. You know, I think Honorable Hannah Bisu, Dr. Bisu said she arrested some tractors, whatever, excavators, and took them, I think 33 or something. In the end, only 4 are left. Charlie, this Hazakes thing, I don't like it because the feeling was that change is here.
Yeah.
And the key word driving this change is reset.
Reset.
So when a reset brings me back to my old time, which is 4 hours late, then you might as well not reset the watch, you know. And some of these things are disheartening. And I think that maybe those who are working with the president have not yet brought themselves to really catch the vision of what he is trying to do. And I think that if these things persist, the president should just start sacking some people, maybe just to scapegoat a few people to wake up the system, because it's just not right. It's just not right.
Pastor Buddy.
I think there's very little to add. If we are going to do the same old things the same old way, we're going to have the same results. You know, listening to Reverend Bibi talk about the presence of Botswana and the kind of things that he said, he was giving me goosebumps. He was giving me goosebumps. Look, sometimes I listen to Nkrumah's speeches and I'm like, whoa, if this guy had been in power for maybe just 5 more years.
Oh, would overtake Dubai, totally.
Exactly, because I know I've watched several times. I've watched the documentaries of Lee Kuan Yew, and I'm like, what kind of a person is that? When Lee Kuan Yew came into power in Singapore, they were less than a third world country. They had just come out of war. They were, oh my goodness, and they don't have any natural resource that, oh, we have gold, or they didn't have nothing. This guy decided that he will make the place just attractive for people to come and spend their money. And he damned the consequences, like Reverend BBC. His own people didn't like him. If you steal, he will put you in detention and you will vomit all the money. If you are his appointee and you dare to be corrupt, he go over you. And he became so unpopular, but he didn't care. By the time they saw the literal transformation, people, you know, you talk about affordable housing, and then what's the price of that affordable housing? It's in the millions of cities. Are you okay?
It's affordable.
$80,000, $120,000.
And it's even priced in dollars.
Affordable housing. When Lee Kuan Yew was doing this affordable housing, people who were artisans could afford it, and they could take it on mortgage and pay little by little. I'm talking about a country that didn't even have potable water. At the end of the day, he had created well-organized, well-planned urban communities. I mean, we all know what Singapore looks like today. And it's largely because of what Lee Kuan Yew did. We need somebody who will have the balls to say, yo, what I said is what I said. The president of Botswana will pray for you. Because when you start with this much enthusiasm, by the time you realize he's been assassinated by very strange actors, we don't even know where they come from. If you don't know, President Ibrahima Traore has survived so many assassination attempts now. He's been under attack. He's been a target for so many. I think it's been about 3 or so years. The level of transformation Burkina Faso has seen in these past 3 years, they've not seen it since Sankara. And so we need to have, when we talk about church, when we talk about the youth church, these are the issues. When I listen to that bishop talk about, whenever he calls for a meeting, these are the things he always talks about. That Ghana needs to change. And for the past few months, and for the past maybe 3 or 4 months, his emphasis has been on, he's not happy with the way people are traveling to the UK, the US, professionals going to work menial jobs. It doesn't make sense that you will leave a good job in Ghana and go and be doing something because it's Canada or US. And he keeps saying, so now when the prayers are shifting from, we are not just praying for the leaders, we are praying for the country to get up so that we said we are losing our young people and we are losing them for nothing just because a few people want to sit at the top and do what they like so that everybody suffers. We need to rise up. DTV, I don't know if there's any initiative you can come up with to highlight and celebrate people who are doing well. I think that when people who are doing well in leadership are highlighted, celebrated, and trumpeted, they become a model. When the airwaves are flooded with corruption, insecurity, it even breeds fear. It communicates sometimes the message that this is the way to go. If you are not corrupt, you can't succeed. But there are some people who are not corrupt, who are doing the right thing, and they are succeeding. There are some people who are going according to the book, honestly and truly serving God and country, and they are doing well. I think it's about time we start celebrating such people, start bringing them to the fore, highlighting lessons that we can learn from them. And from us, from my church next gen, I'll keep drumming it in their ear. The next generation is right now. The next generation, it has started already. And so if you are not prepared for the future right now, you'll be left behind. I pray that God will give our leaders wisdom and, more importantly, courage to be able to back their words with actions. Because largely they say nice things. You listen to the president and you say he's a good man. He has good intentions. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We need to see action.
That's right. I'll take those as your last words. Thank you so much, Pastor Buddy, forensic scientist and also a pastor at Action Chapel International. And then, let me just take your last words. I mean, his last words overshadow your last words.
We thank God. It's just my hope and my prayer that, like Pastor Buddy said, we will develop the courage and leadership to start to do the right thing. I think that we have made some progress because in the past there wasn't space to express ourselves like this. The Rawlings era through the coup d'etat. Then we came to the constitutional era, plurality of radio stations, TV stations. We're expressing ourselves. I think where we are now is that the politicians are trying to do better than their colleagues, so it's like we did better here than you and all that. But I think you have to now shift from comparisons of mediocrity to the things that will bring about real lasting change. It's a process, but I think we are taking too long to evolve, especially with President Mahama having a second bite of the cherry. He's been there, he's gone home for 8 years and is back. It will be most unpardonable if that change we are looking for doesn't start to show clearly. I think he started very well, but yesterday's presser and some of these news that we've had today is sort of, exactly, and my optimism is deeply shaken, I must say. And it's my hope that it's just one misstep and not rather one of many more missteps to come.
Well, Reverend Baby, he's an architect and a builder, and also the name of the church again?
Eagles Network
Eagles
International
Network.
Ministry.
Why would you just carry Ghana and fly us to a better place? What's all this? Like you have left us there, chicken and all of that. We are just mingling with all this. Just let the eagle carry us. The Lord better be. Well, thank you so much for coming through.
It's a pleasure.
We should be having conversation about schizophrenia, I told you earlier. And it's a huge convo people say they hear voices. Some people feel stuff crawling on their skin and all of that. And you don't want to miss that discussion. That we're going to be having sports and all that. So let's go for a quick break. And then when we get back, the show continues.
Messi Yehovah say mi banko biya ma banka siyo woni mi bambo fo ni oti yosusu hinne hintabia otna Yehovah ninyu nase Messi Yehovah say mi banko biya ma banka siyo woni mi bambo fo Kanchia ebe flope Sadom berry men yankupolo okumame Sawoto ejen ewiya keta yabedoje Sawoto fidie anajo fampa enyame Kanchia ebe flope Sadom berry men yankupolo okumame Come on.
topic introduces us to sports anytime. Anytime we hear it, we're excited about it, and we're ready to hear what's happening in the world of sports. And if I'm talking sports, you know that Callistus is in the building. Morning, Callistus.
Good morning, Viadela.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Nice
I'm
meeting
doing
you
great.
today.
Yeah, what do you say to the Black Queens, though?
Congratulations. A
All
big
right
congratulations
now.
to the
All
team. They've
right
done so well. In fact, that's exceedingly well because we never expected them to get to the semi-final.
You didn't expect it?
At all. So, you know what happened last year? They were under a different manager. That was Nora Haptel. Who moved on
Nora.
Nora Haptel. He brought the spirit of the Black Queens back and also made them accomplish their qualifications to the African Cup of Nations, which we missed out in 2022. So she leaving the team in that crucial decision that was taken by the FA, we thought, oh, who is going to come in and maybe settle and try as much as possible to bring the team together and get that into the AFCON and maybe even get success out of the group stage, because we normally get out of the group stage or we get booted out of the group stage without qualifying to the next stage. So Kim Jim-Las coming in and not winning friendly matches, not getting the results that we expected. Most of us wrote the team off, in Morocco. But they had a good preparation. They had the best of preparation. And also, as Ghana, we are slow starters in tournaments. So when they got in there, that's Ghana. You realize when we go first, it will be a lose or a draw in our first game. Then we start doing the calculations as to how to get out of the group or advance from the group. And then it all began like that against South Africa. But hey, our final game was a third place finish that we had to beat South Africa again on penalty. So congratulations to the team. Now they are back in Ghana, and they were welcome in a rousy way, like a triumph way, and we are happy for them. Super Falcons of Nigeria have also been doing great. Now, President Tinubu has given the team $100,000 each. So each player of the Super Falcons team of Nigeria has $100,000, and also Nigeria, 3-bedroom apartment. You know that, and the
Ghana
technical
has lost
team.
Me, please.
Of course, I know.
Yes.
And what they are saying is in spirit and in flesh. So you see that on the name. So check Viadela's name on the screen.
Yes, my name has changed.
It's of course Viadela Ade Ngozi Mama G. So that's it. But the church is also doing well. Action Chapel International. Yeah. They came up with Dominion FC in their first season.
Yes.
Dominion FC emerged as winners of the Zone 1 league. So that's it.
Yeah.
You're short over the weekend. That's Dominion FC. Congratulations to them. You see their CEO, and by far, she happens to be the oldest existing woman having to lead a football club in Ghana. So that's Madame Asante.
This has to be God. Look, because during the Global Prayer Work Summit, I saw them. They were seated at the back. And I was surprised that a team of footballers would go into prayer. Look, Global Prayer Work Summit, it wasn't that baby stuff, okay? We were really dealing with stuff.
Moment.
Wow.
Wanted
I see Bishop... oh my God, Bishop Anyati. Right? Yes.
They had reps from the Action Chapel International.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so it was great. It was great. Good picture, and I'm happy for them because most of our churches don't do this, and of course, Papa leading the way.
The Archbishop is a different.
Yeah, he's leading the way in this, and the investment that goes into it, the commitment, the daily expenditure, and all that. Kudos to the church. I'm super proud of them. I'm super proud of them. And we'll be speaking to that later on. But that's a sports break right here on Wake Up Africa with me, Carl, the Sports Junior. We'll go for a quick 10. When we come back, we've got more for you. All right, thank you. And this is still Sports Break right here on Wake Up Africa with me, Carl. I am the Sports General, and I tell you, sports is a $500 billion project. And of course, if the church is leading the way. I tell you, we can get to it in no time. So let's begin from that particular story where Dominion FC, a third division team that plays in the Accra East District, emerged victorious in their Zone 1 zonal league. So that's pictures from their crowning movement. And so the weekend, we witnessed the Middle League final. So the team went to the Middle League, but they couldn't qualify to the finals and therefore play or qualify to the second division league. So we're wishing the team a better luck next time, but that's good. First time of asking and achieving this particular one is enormous. And congratulations to the Archbishop Duncan Williams, the entire management of Dominion FC, the playing body and the technical team. Unfortunately, one player had to be admitted at the hospital due to injury, and I'm wishing the player well. I'm wishing that particular player well. And away from that, let's move straight to the sport where we've got the Belgium Grand Prix highlights for you. Do enjoy that.
Piastri and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc with an impressive lap around Spa-Francorchamps. Norris set the pace in a Q1 that had a dramatic moment when an at-risk Lewis Hamilton looked to have done enough to get himself out of danger, only for his lap time to be deleted due to track limits, and that dropped the Ferrari driver down to P16 and out of the session. Alpine's Franco Colapinto was just behind in P17, while Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli had a disappointing outing in P18, with Aston Martin also struggling with Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll in P19 and P20 respectively. Out front, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen managed fourth. Alex Albon was an impressive fifth for Williams, just ahead of Mercedes' George Russell in sixth. Red Bull's Yuki Tsunoda followed in seventh.
While the McLaren of Oscar Piastri might have started on pole position, it was Max Verstappen who had the better start and managed to take the lead from the Australian at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Elsewhere, Charles Leclerc also took advantage of some cautious McLaren driving and moved up into third ahead of Lando Norris. It was a short-lived advantage for Leclerc though, with the Papaya car regaining third place thanks to some superior top speed. Up at the front, meanwhile, Oscar Piastri did everything he could to reel in Verstappen, but the Dutch driver managed to make his car just wide and just fast enough to hold on to take the checkered flag from the pair of McLarens.
Red Bull starting a new era, Max Verstappen carrying on where the old era pretty much left off. One more corner to go. It's his sprint race, it's his sprint victory. He's victorious at Spa on this Saturday afternoon. Max Verstappen leads home Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. McLaren with a very healthy points haul, but it's Verstappen with the victory. Number one, and he was number one on the road today.
Lewis Hamilton.
Number one, and he was number one on that track. Away from the tracks, let's move straight to the tennis court where we've got ATP Tour for you, straight from Morocco and Toronto for you. Let's enjoy that.
Meeting between the two players on the ATP circuit. A positive start for Monfils, going 2-love up to be in control. Barrios Vera, though, responded with 2 breaks of his own, going 1 better to win the opening set. Monfils came good on his fight back to stay in the match by leveling up to make it a set each. And the decider, it went to a tie-break. Barrios Vera closed it off with a 6-4, 4-6 and 7-6 score. After both showcasing some of their best tennis of the season on the hard courts of Washington, it was all or nothing for Leila Fernandez and Anna Kalinskaya in the final of the WTA's Mubadala City DC Open. Fernandez had her plan working out in the first set, her aggression getting her 5-1 up after breaking her opponents twice. The Canadian staying focused, and she was up a set within 30 minutes of the final. A similar script in the second set, Fernandez serving with the championship points for a 6-1 and 6-2 victory and for her first title since 2023.
Oh, wow. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but that will be very, very impossible. You're a tough opponent to play against, so congratulations.
All right, so that was in Toronto from tennis. Now, over the weekend, there was a game that happened in South Africa where Kumasi Asante Kotoko had to visit South Africa and play against Kaizer Chiefs in the CS Toyota Cup. And of course, Kotoko emerging victorious after playing 1-0, 0-0 in the 90 minutes of action. And the game had to be settled with penalty, Kotoko winning by 3-2. On penalties. We've got some highlights of what happened in the Moses Madiba Stadium in Durban for you.
Chiefs almost caught out. They're marking from set pieces being tested. long-distance attempts for Mamakosi with no goal in the opening half. A perfect chance for the Glamour Boys for the opener. Bule Modi clearly brought down in the box, penalty the call from the referee. Ignacio Miguel, though, unable to put it away. Disappointment for the Amakosi followers. Goalless at the final whistle, penalties needing to find the winner. Wandile Duba had his spot kick saved, pressure on the Soweto Giants. Kotoko missing the very next one. Each goalkeeper stepped up with saves. A third miss for the Travellers left it to Modi to win it. However, it was also saved. It went into sudden death, Miguel suffering the same fate of failing to hit the back of the net. Asante Kotoko winning 3-2 via the penalty shootout. Celebrations for them at the end of the afternoon in Durban with a pre-season trophy.
All right, so celebrations for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It started in South Africa and they've landed already in Ghana through the Kotoka International Airport. So their new coach, Karim Zito, who have been given 2-year appointment in this interim period, has managed to win 3 cups for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. First is the MTN FA Cup right here in Ghana, and of course the President's Cup for 2025, and now Toyota Cup from South Africa. So congratulations to the Porcupine Warriors, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And still on the continent, we've got highlights from the WAFCON 2025 that happened in Morocco. First, let's watch the 3rd place finish for the Black Queens that got them bronze and $350,000 from that particular game against the Bayana of South Africa. And of course, the finals, the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Atlas Lioness of Morocco. Let's enjoy the highlights.
Created in the half, but that shot put them ahead on the stroke of half-time.
Conlon caught in possession and rolled in. Well, Jermaine Siposenwe hassled and harried, and it broke kindly for Mtandi.
The Black Queens continued to ask questions in the second half, and they eventually managed to break the stubborn South African defense.
It's a good-looking delivery, and it is in. Ghana have found a deserved equalizer.
Ghana had a chance to bury the game deep into added time, but South Africa was saved by the crossbar, and like that, the bronze medalists would be decided in a penalty shootout. Banyana had the advantage after the first round of spot kicks, with Andile Dlamini making a good stop to keep Chantal Boy-Loka out, but it was all level as Bulelo Olweni then had her penalty saved. Hilda Magaya then failed to convert, and that gave Ghana the chance to secure the bronze medal.
Now, she watches in anticipation as the player brought on, who didn't kick the ball during regulation time, brought on for this moment, slots it away. Nancy Amoa, who had played just 20 or so minutes in the
start they made was stuff of dreams.
Shot comes in from Sheba. Morocco have scored.
Ait Al-Haj looking for Jraidi. She slipped a little bit. It's fallen from Masudi. Chance for number 2.
The first half was all about the Moroccans, but the second 45 belonged by and large to the Super Falcons. Their fortunes changed when VAR forced the referee to check a possible penalty. Morocco were penalized for handball. Esther Okorongwo stepped up and managed to halve the deficit. That put pressure on the home side, and their defensive wall became penetrable as Nigeria made it 2-2.
Here's Okoronko. Still Okoronko with
an opportunity for her second. Squares the ball. Nigeria are right back in it.
With full-time looming, the Atlas Lionesses thought they had a chance to seal the trophy when a spot kick was given for handball, but VAR overturned the referee's decision. It was heartbreak in the end for Morocco in Rabat, being denied that penalty, as Nigeria then went on to complete a stunning comeback.
Running onto it, they've got a third! Nigeria are about to pull off a massive turnaround. It's all over. Nigeria have won the Women's Cup of Nations for a 10th time. And in the most dramatic of circumstances,
2-0 down at the break. They have turned this game on its head with a fine 3-2 victory. They are winners of the WAFCON 2024. 10 times now.
And all you can say is congratulations to the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who continue to show their dominance in women's football on the continent of Africa. Now let's go to the individual awards, and some who were given awards during this particular tournament. So coach of the tournament goes to Justin Madugu of Nigeria. He happens to be the coach of the tournament, especially leading the Super Falcons to win their 10th title, and Rashidat Ajibade winning the woman of the competition, the overall best performer of the competition. And golden top scorer goes to Shizlen Shibak of Morocco, jersey number 7, and the leader of the Moroccan team. And Chamaka Indanozi becomes the best goalkeeper of the just ended WAFCON. Fair play team goes to the Bayana of South Africa. Then finally, for the team of the tournament, best 11, we have 2 Ghanaians in there, Grace Asantiwa and Portia Boachi. And of course, Esther Okonkwo from Nigeria, Rashidat Ajibade from Nigeria also representing, as well as Michelle also representing in the, we've got South Africans and the captain of Morocco alongside Jrada, the leader on top of the attack of the Moroccan team. So that's it for the Women's African Cup of Nations. And then we move straight to Europe to draw the curtains down. Let's watch the highlights of the Euro Women 2025 tournament, where the 3 Lionesses of England managed to beat Spain in the finals to win a back-to-back UEFA Euro Women tournament. Congratulations to the coach Sarina Wagman for winning the 3rd title with the 2nd team. Let's watch the highlights.
World Cup final, but failed to ripple the back of the net. However, Spain, who had scored the most goals in this competition ahead of this final, drew first blood.
Here's Del Castillo, just got inside. Russo finds Onabakia, cross looking for Esther. 1-0 Spain. Mariana Caldente has not had much fortune in front of goal in these finals. She finds the back of the net in the final itself. England 0, Spain 1.
Trailing by a goal to 0 after the interval, England sought to bag the equaliser.
Kelly with the cross in. Russo! 1-1! Spain scored with a header from a good cross, and England have replied in kind, 1 apiece.
Catakol and Hannah Hampton made 2 saves apiece. England converted 2 from the spot, while Spain netted 1. It therefore came down to the final 2 kicks, with the title hanging in the balance.
Chloe Kelly to win the European Championship for England. And also, Chloe Kelly means England retain the European Championship crown. Serena Wiegman remains unbeaten in European Championship knockout football. England are crowned queens.
So back-to-back champions, England have won the Euro Women Tournament again, with Sarina Wagman winning this particular one for them as a coach. And of course, throughout the tournament, England has come from behind to win games in that epic moment. So that's it. Congratulations to the 3 Lionesses of England. And we've got the awards, or individual awards, where Michelle Ajiman happens to be the young player of the tournament. So that's it. Michelle Ajiman coming from Ghana, having Ghanaian background and descent. At a point in time in her career, she wanted to play for the Black Queens of Ghana, but quite unfortunate, Ghana. Now she's won the young player of the tournament for the 3 Lionesses of England, and of course the Euro tournament. So that's it. 4 goals. Esther Gonzalez becoming the top scorer of the Euro 2025, and player of the tournament goes to Atana Bonmati. Congratulations to her as well. And of course, the team of the tournament after it just ended on Sunday. So that's it in the Kelly representing England, Russo representing England, as well as Bruins also representing England. And we've got 4 players representing Spain in the team of the tournament. So as it happens in the men Euro, as Spain beat England, this time is a reverse where England also had to beat Spain in the women's Euro, and that's how we draw the curtains down on today's edition on Sports Break right here on Wake Up Africa. I'm sure you are awake already, you are fired up and ready to rumble, and I take you over to Biadela Ade. Biadela, so...
Ade Ngozi.
Oh, okay, Biadela Ade Ngozi.
Yes.
Mama Jean.
Yes.
Jean for General.
General in Calabar.
General in Ghana, General here on Wake Up Africa. General, over to you.
Interesting. Anyway, thank you so much, Callistus. Well, there you have it. Great sports news, keeping you updated on what's happening in the world of sports. We're going to go for a break now. And when we get back, that schizophrenic conversation, we're going to have it. We'll be back.
Natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GS. Lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShea is available nationwide. For purchases, distributions, bulk supply, and export. Call us now or WhatsApp +2 332 4489 2413 or +2 3354 02888200. Email us at info@northstoneltd.com or medshea@gmail.com. MedShea, the natural way to keep mosquitoes away. This advert is approved by FDA.
What's better than your bestie? A bestie with blockbusters and bedtime cartoons. GOtv streams your fave soaps, sports, and the loudest laughs. No extra charge, just internet connection. Your shows, your vibes, your anytime, anywhere bestie. GOtv Stream. Download it now.
I decree today that the power of God that is coming upon your life, no enemy will touch you and go free.
Experience the power. Take dominion.
Say the name of Jesus. The name of Jesus. I prophesy. Doors of favor.
Action Chapel's Dominion Hour. Now, live, this and every Thursday on Dominion TV.
And from today, you will be stronger than any enemy.
Every morning begins with you, your routine, your goals, your journey. Get ready for the day with us by your side. This is Wake Up Africa, your inspirational morning ride. We bring you the energy you need, the insight, and the motivation to kickstart your day. Wake Up Africa is here to connect you to the latest news, your front row seat to all the sports action. Get moving with us for a healthier you. Wake Up Africa gives you daily forecast, keeping you prepared for whatever comes your way. Join us each morning as we start your day together.
My name is Kokulumo, and welcome to Wake Up Africa.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa morning show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. Prayer is a daily necessity for daily triumph.
Africa, we must unite.
We are getting Abrahamic rewards, but we are running away from Abrahamic responsibilities.
Where should Africa sit and stand in this new world order?
Africa has the youngest, fastest growing population. That's a blessing, but it's also a challenge.
Who did God describe as the man after his own heart?
David.
Adam.
My experience, nothing short of amazing.
I never believed I'll be able to do this. Dominion TV's Emerging Leaders program has taught me skills about marketing in a corporate setting.
My name is Danny Glover, and you're watching
Dominion TV.
And now it's time for us to have the very last conversation for today. And I just can't stress this enough. If we're talking about schizophrenia, we've touched on it before, I think, with Dr. Fiong. And many people started to ask questions about stuff that they go through. It's also some of the things listed under mental health, and then we really need to tackle that. I'm expecting to have Dr. Leanne Dede in the studios pretty shortly. But today, for the very first time ever meeting you, my lady, we have Dr. Na Ayele Mensah. She's a psychiatry resident at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. It's good to see you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you too.
Oh, okay. Well, I learned that you are the only, pilot of the ship today. That's fine. It's fantastic.
I'm taking one for the team.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's great. Resident, so that's like doctor, but not yet doctor. Is that it?
No, that's doctor already. Training to be a specialist.
Oh, okay. Now that why did they say residence? Like you have a landlord or something?
Well, it's a period, so it's a residency period.
Yeah,
so
I see.
You have to go through the period. Resident at the location, learning what you're
then after that,
specializing in.
To wherever you go.
Yes.
I see. I would have asked you why psychiatry, but I realized that it's very important and people always overlook it. So yes, it's a great job that you're doing. But let's get on with schizophrenia. Very nice name. It's quite difficult for some people to mention it, but I'm actually excited I'm able to mention like schizophrenic, schizophrenia, and all the phrenias. What is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the group, mental health in general have a lot of diagnoses, just like the general side do have malaria, typhoid, and all of those things. Schizophrenia is one of the many mental health disorders or diseases that are treated in the psychiatry setting.
Okay.
Now, schizophrenia is under the psychosis group of mental health diseases. it's typically one that affects major functioning facets of a human being. For instance, the speech is affected, the lifestyle is affected, the way the person thinks is affected, and therefore the person could actually, at a point, hear voices, talk to them. Yes, so that is schizophrenia. It affects a lot of the functioning facets of a human being, and it's coming together is what we term as schizophrenia. But the word schizophrenia itself, it's a Latin word that means split mind. So not literally like your mind is splitting, but it just means that split mind, like the person's normal functioning or
thought process.
is actually deranged or not assembling well.
Wow. But before you get to that, do you have little underlining factors that, crop up to, because you started to say that your speech is affected, and I'm thinking that maybe there are other names for these things, and then so does it mean that you have to go through like smaller diseases to get to that point of schizophrenia?
Yeah, so schizophrenia, actually, the diagnosis is made when a person has had the signs and the symptoms occurring for 6 months.
Oh, right.
But a person could have signs and symptoms that last for a month. That would say the person is having a brief psychotic episode.
Right.
Then some may present with symptoms that may have lasted for 3 months, which we would say schizophreniform disease. But for a diagnosis of schizophrenia to be made, the symptoms such as hallucinations, delusions, disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, which are called positive symptoms, plus certain things that are also classified under negative symptoms, like the affect of the person, ambivalence, and anhedonia. A lot of stuff will come in. So there are diagnostic criteria, which we will get to. But for schizophrenia, a diagnosis is made after a person has had the signs and symptoms occurring for 6 months.
How common is this?
Very, very common. In our setting, we see every day you could make a diagnosis.
Well, you're in that hospital.
So worldwide, the epidemiology says that when you take 1,000 people, between 15 to 19 per 1,000 stands the chance to experience schizophrenia. So if you take 1,000 people, between 15 to 19 persons out of that 1,000 could become schizophrenic or could develop schizophrenia.
Wow.
It's more in men than women.
It's more in men than women?
It is frequent in men than women. And
is it because they don't talk? Is it because they don't express? They don't go for counseling. They don't want to tell what's on their mind. They just really keep all the things, bam and so and things. So they're like literally keeping everything up. And then they start to hear voices.
It is part of the predisposing factors. But men, based on their genetics, are more prone to go through schizophrenia, plus the things that you have mentioned, than women.
I see.
Also in men, it can happen as early as the age of 18.
Wow.
For men, yes. It is after 20s for women, but in men, it is.
What causes this?
So for schizophrenia, the actual cause is difficult to tell, but a lot of things come together, can predispose somebody to schizophrenia. So, for instance, there are neurochemicals in the brain, dopamine, serotonin. They are to function at a certain threshold. When these neurotransmitters or chemicals in the brain malfunction, it can predispose a person to schizophrenia. Also, during the stage of pregnancy and delivery, if complications come in, those things can also predispose a person to develop or increases the person's chance of developing schizophrenia.
Are we looking at, what's the name, the thing, postpartum depression?
No, postpartum
That's
depression
different.
is for the mother who carried the pregnancy.
But then this one is for the
schizophrenia
fetus.
is for the fetus. So the development and then how the labor goes. Sometimes labor is extended.
Right.
Or babies do not come as expected. So all of those thresholds can are the extremes that can predispose a person to schizophrenia. Also, sometimes people will use substances. For instance, cannabis and all the other hard drugs.
Red and all that.
Yes, can predispose a person.
Please bring the camera. Let's see the doctor's face for her to tell us. Tell them red means stop. You said red.
Yes, not red and all the other substances.
All the other colors.
Yes, can predispose a person to develop the use of it. Their use and abuse of it can predispose a person.
Use and abuse.
Yes.
Okay.
Can predispose a person to develop schizophrenia later on in life.
Good morning, young person who feels that you don't have a job and so you want to go for red. This is news for you. You could go into depression and then it goes into schizophrenia. It's a very nice name, but it's a very terrible situation. So you don't want to be there. So if you know somebody who smokes, who drinks, who is into all these substances, and they have very good excuses for it, you know, it helps you, your brain is open so you can understand things. Someone has been solving maths since they were children till now because the only time they get to solve the maths is when they are high. Beware. Anyway, let's get back to the combo. So on the regulars,
but also there's a genetic component to it.
Okay, great.
So
Take us through that.
It runs in families as well. So there's a 60 to 80% chance that if a family member, close, nucleated, mother, father, develops schizophrenia, there's a good chance that their offspring, yes, may be in the category of the people who are predisposed to develop schizophrenia.
Well, let's get to symptoms. I know that you've spoken about depression and all of that, but I mean, for somebody who's watching us, maybe heard a lot of stuff about it, but what are the day-to-day things that we see that should inform us that we need to come to your desk?
Okay, so for schizophrenia, the symptoms that we look out for are the positive and negative symptoms. They are grouped under these two big headings.
Okay.
Under the positive symptoms, which positive mean not that it is positive
I was
or good,
about asking that.
but positive symptom meaning that those things, when are present in a person, pushes us towards the diagnosis of schizophrenia.
All right.
So that includes hearing of voices that other people cannot hear. So as I sit here, you can hear me audibly. But a person that suffers from schizophrenia may be hearing, but none of us around will hear what the person...
So who is saying that? What, is it a spirit? I mean, there has to be a spiritual side to this, right? Or you don't? I know that you're a medical person, but you're Christian too. You love Jesus, don't you?
I do.
So, and if the Lord is talking to you, you could you say that it's
the Lord will give you clear instructions that we will all understand. The Lord will not tell you to go and harm somebody.
Okay,
the
so
Lord
the
will
devil
tell you to go and shout or go and cross traffic lights or go and stand there for a car, stand in the middle of the road. I don't think that's how
so
the Lord
what the people normally hear is...
the things they hear, when they present it, it is not consistent with normal happenings or occurrences.
Right. It's good that we cleared that out because, I mean, someone goes, oh, I'm hearing voices. Probably it's angels singing, then they'll start to think
but the circumstances are also different. When we are in service and we call the Holy Spirit, I am not a pastor though, I'm just saying that in a service setting, we have called, so we would wait for an answer. This is happening outside. There is no service happening. The person's activity of living is what is making them hear it.
All right.
We cannot compare the two.
Okay, all right. And then what again?
So hearing of the voices, usually they hear people commenting about their life or giving them instructions. Then there is delusions.
Right.
Where they see the urge to do something, or they believe that something is, but in actual fact may not. So somebody might think that their friend hates them or their family hates them. And in actual fact, their friend the person may not even have offended their friend to even elicit that kind of a reaction from their friend. But the fixed thinking and belief that somebody wants to harm them it appears strongest to them, even in the face of all evidence proving otherwise. That's a delusion. Then there's the disorganized speech, where the person is talking, but as you are having conversation move on a certain trajectory.
Yeah.
So if I'm introducing myself, I'll say, oh, my name is this, my age is this, I work here, I come from here. But in a schizophrenic situation, a person will start, my name is, oh, last week I went to church. Oh, and did you see the man in the market? Oh, the driver is passing by. These are
distorted.
Exactly. So that is the nature of the disorganization of the speech of the person who may be having schizophrenia. Then there is disorganized behavior, a behavior that may not be consistent with the person's norm or may not be acceptable in their culture or belief. Yeah. Then we come to the negative symptoms.
We should be more dire.
No, the positive is more dire.
Oh, I see. So medical people, you have been twisting things.
Well, it's not it's not as clear as it seems. So with the negative, we look at the affect of the person. So as we are sitting here, you and I are laughing. But imagine you are talking to me and
maybe sinking, you're trying to understand.
Well, for a very long period, my usual state will be that.
Okay, now that's frightening.
Exactly. So the person's affect, their look is different. Then they lose, they don't have energy. So that's anhedonia. They don't have energy to do the things that routinely they may have been doing, like taking care of themselves, maintaining their personal hygiene, wanting to eat, wanting to cook. All of those things are also affected.
Wow. Yes. Interesting. You have that in children?
Not below 18. Like I said, 18
not below 18. Okay. So if your child starts to behave a certain way, could be something else.
Could be something else. Could be a lot of something else in mental health. So that child may need evaluation. And also dependent on what the child is presenting. Because for children, there's tendencies. So when the child is off or below or extreme in the tendencies, like walking, talking, I mean, you wouldn't have a child who may not be talking, describe a hallucination to you. It will be difficult to elicit certain things like that from it. Whether they are hearing voices, it will be difficult.
Right.
But their presentations, when they are given to the doctor is able to put them in a category, not schizophrenia, but other forms of childhood mental disorders.
Well, I know that I promised that you could call in and be a part of the conversation, but today we can't make calls, okay? So this is what we'll do. We'll get on our socials. It's My Dominion TV on YouTube and Facebook. I'm constantly there checking it out. See what you're writing. Ask any question at all. And we'll be sure to ask the doctor who is a resident at Kolibu. And then we'll really delve into that. So I think last week, 2 weeks ago, some people would call and, want to find, hearing voices. Some also talk about stuff crawling on their skin. Is it the same thing?
So there are types of hallucinations. In schizophrenia, the typical one is the hearing of voices. But there are other forms of hallucinations. So you could have what we call tactile hallucinations, where people feel that things are crawling on their skin, but there will be nothing physically visible
So it's just their mind telling them something is crawling on their skin.
Their mind, yes, but also they feel that something is crawling on their skin.
And what is that?
What is what?
What's crawling on their skin?
It's a hallucination. And then there is visual. So people may see things that may not be there. So they'll tell you, oh, this and such is here. But as the rest of us are here, we don't share in the hallucination. So we may not be able to see what they are seeing. But they are confident that they are seeing what they are seeing. And it will be difficult for you to say otherwise to what they are seeing. So there is visual, there's auditory, there is tactile, and then there is also smell.
They smell things differently?
They smell things that you may not smell. So the person may smell that the person may think that there's an awful smell or foul smell, but other people may not perceive it. But with the person, they perceive it. Usually, they may perceive the smell of a dead something. Yeah, that kind of awful smell is what most people may be experiencing. But around in the same place where other people may be, they may not smell it just as they are, but they strongly have the sense of smell altered.
These people live in communities, live in family, live with people. I'm getting to support system now. What do we do at these stages if you are around such a person, your parent, your guardian, your sister, brother, or you probably live in church with that person of whom their immediate family maybe would just overlook these things? How do we start to address these issues?
Okay. So for people living with schizophrenia, they trying to let them see reason may not work. So if there's somebody that can communicate to the person, communicate not as in understand what they are saying, but they listen to you.
Okay.
So there may be that one person that the patient or the schizophrenia sufferer may heed to.
Okay.
Most of the time, their pastor or some auntie or uncle, that person has to get the person to a point of treatment. So a point of treatment is psych care.
All right.
Whether Accra Psychiatry, Pantan, or Kolibu in Accra, and then there's the Kumasi Center at Konfanochi. There's also Ankafo in Cape Coast, and then there's also psychiatry in the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. So you get the person to the point of care. And once they are at the point of care, the needed assessment will be done. If a diagnosis is clearly made, medications will be applied. The person may need admission. If they need admission, the person will be on admission, be assessed till the time that the symptoms are in remission. When the symptoms are improved or in remission, then they would be brought home to the home setting. Now, home support, when they have come out of care, is also important because compliance of medication is really needed. We need the patients to comply on medication. Most people get home, they do a few days of the medication, then they say, I'm fine.
But they are fine.
I don't need the medication again. Or they become preoccupied with the complications, possible complications of medications, and then they stop taking their medication, what we will call default or refuse medication.
Right.
And once a person is not on the medication, their function would revert back to the initial distorted one that is problematic and difficult to cope in society.
So do you have training sessions? Do you have, a way to get to the people who offer help during maybe the schizophrenic episodes and all of that, so that they in turn don't lose their sanity?
So when you come into care, there is not just the psychiatric care, there is clinical psychology and counseling. And in clinical psychology, we do cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
And then other forms of therapy, family therapy, where we let the family know what the patient is going through and what they can do to help. So patients, usually, we would involve family therapy in their care. So when family members avail themselves, they will know the cause, the reason the person may be having the symptoms that they're supposed to, adherence to medication, all of that is done with the psychologist in therapy before the person is brought back to the home setting for reintegration. So yes, they are, because psychologists are present and you need to book an appointment with them. But in the course of care, when a patient is on admission, we make sure that at least they do get the counseling that they needed. For the people who are significantly going to live with the person, and even sometimes to the point that somebody is responsible for their medication. So that person will also know when, how to give the medication and what to do when they notice a few things that are distorted.
Well, Dr. Fiong is sending us, good morning, Dr. Fiong. I hope you're well. He says on YouTube that God's voice would never contradict his word. Yeah, so it couldn't have been the prophet hearing the voice of God. If a voice tells you something contrary to the Bible, especially involving fear, harm, confusion, and self-destruction, it's not from God. Then we need to. So God will not tell you to go and cross red lights and then stand there and look pretty or or stuff like that. So you want to be where, and don't go and be saying that somebody maybe saying stuff that are not there, right? We can't just easily just say that, okay, the person is schizophrenic because he's saying something that's not there. Could be something else, right? Yeah. So that means that we don't have the right.
So it's not also just about hearing the voices. So if it was only about just hearing the voices, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's a set of things. So yes, they are hearing the voices. What are the kind of voices they are hearing? 1, 2. What is the voice telling them? You look through that. Then you come to delusion. Does the person have a delusion? How is the person's behavior? How is the person's speech? So there are a cluster of things.
Right.
It is not just about hearing voices.
Okay, so there you have it. It's not just about hearing voices, okay? So there are many things, and so you can't just easily judge that, okay, this is a schizophrenic case or something like that. That's why we're advised that the moment you feel, okay, there's something that's off, you start to talk to the person, start to see where the mind is at. And then you, first point of call, Dr. Fion always says that what the mind sees, no, the eye sees what the mind knows. So the moment you start to see, you know, all these things, you want to get to a health facility, you want to ask if they have, I mean, all the hospitals that she mentioned, probably you might not have that in your area.
But there are, now mental health is decentralized.
Okay, so we can go to any hospital.
Community psychiatric nurses. There are also units, psychiatric units in polyclinics, district hospitals. You would meet somebody that will give you the psychiatric care. But if you may need admission, then you will be sent to these bigger points of care.
All right.
But any of the polyclinics, district hospitals would have a psychiatric nurse or a psychiatric community nurse in the unit who would go through the assessment, the initial assessment. If it is beyond them, then they will refer.
I see. What are some of the lifestyle interventions that we can do to support schizophrenic patients?
So, to support the patient, we would need to make sure that they are attending their reviews and they are taking their medications as recommended by the doctors.
So exercise and food all those?
We'll come to all of that, because if the patient doesn't take the medication and becomes stable, your exercise will mean nothing.
So that's the first point of call.
That's the first point of call. Get the person care. Get the person on medication. That will support their constant well-being. When they are down to understanding life and the normal things from the abnormality, then we will do where the person will live. Family should identify the triggers. Patients, most of the time, people go back and the reintegration is the problem.
Right.
So person has had a mental disorder, comes home. How do we treat the person? Do we treat the person the same way they are used to prior to the diagnosis? Or now, because of the diagnosis, we are giving them a gap. We are making them feel like they have a diagnosis, and therefore certain things we may not let them do. We are not recommending that when a patient comes from admission, give them cooking assignments, but involve them washing dishes. If you are cooking, they could wash your vegetables for you. They could wash the bowls. Also exercise. Involve them in walks. I mean, every condition, once you do diet and exercise, it's a good even if it's not physically affecting the person's physique, it is a time for people to bond. When people do these keep fit clubs, beyond the exercise, there is
bonding,
bonding.
love.
There is feeling of love. There is contact. There is connection. So isolation in mental illness in general is not recommended. Person is not supposed to be isolated. Person is supposed to be allowed to live their normal life. Our job is to make sure that they are getting the care and they are getting the medication. Once they get the care and medication, they are good. All the other things, they can function like normal as they used to be.
So do you get to advise
and avoid stigma?
And oh yeah, right,
and
right.
Branding or tagging.
Tell me the difference, stigma and branding. I mean,
no. So stigma is a prejudice that we all it's something that we perpetuate on other people. So we treat people differently because of a tag, or we do not associate with them because we think that they have gone through something. But if I tell you, oh, diabetic, I don't know, or papa no what schizophrenia, or mama no what depression, that one we are labeling the person.
Right.
And it's part of stigma, but it's labeling.
I see. I see. So, I mean, this could happen to you, right? It could happen to anybody.
It could happen to a doctor, a pastor.
No, I don't want to go to the pastor side, Jesus, because I don't know then what you would tell your church member if you're going through that.
It's
Have you ever had a situation like that where a pastor is your patient?
So, confidentiality issues, but schizophrenia, all I can say is schizophrenia happens to everybody.
It means that
every occupation.
You've encountered that
everybody, every occupation.
Yeah, so getting to that part, do you have the chance, or are you allowed to advise maybe in a job change, for these, people who have gone through that? I'm thinking some people's maybe occupation, the stress of it also might be a trigger. So then when you notice that, are you able to advise employers and all of that?
So yes. One of the beautiful things about psychiatry is we don't just give medication. We look at all facets of life. So when a person has a diagnosis, we look at family, we look at work, we look at lifestyle, all the things that are contributing to what the person is currently suffering comes to play. So if a person cannot function based on assessments from a psychiatrist and a psychologist, that the person cannot function in their previous role, then the psychologist will reorient the person to understand that as it is happening now, you need a change of role. Because yes, the company can change the person's role. But example, myself, if I go to the hospital and I'm told, oh, you can't work because you have schizophrenia, that alone is a trigger for me to go back. So if a psychologist explained to me that currently, because of such and such, it will be difficult for you to function in your previous role, can you think about something that you can do differently? So it is not like I feel stigmatized. Because when I go back and you tell me not to see patients, I'll feel stigmatized. But it may not be in my good interest to see people because I also am dealing with something. However, there is times where change of function may be recommended, depending on the state of the patient. So the patient, their presentation, their rehabilitation would inform if there should be a change in their function or portfolio.
I know you are trained for this. I mean, Dr. Dede, fantastic lady at this. And I know that you have many doctors, nurses who are good with this. Dealing with these issues, aside the fact that you're being trained for it, does it affect you?
To an extent.
What extent?
They are human like us. They are probably, could be our relatives. So you identify with the person, you come into contact with people. If they are a lady of your age, your heart goes out to the person that they may have been going through something. And also sometimes even the circumstances that has led to the person experiencing the mental disorder will give you a lot of things to think about. But it will not physically affect your function towards the person. But it will give you a lot of things to think about. And it will also inform how you would treat the patient, what you will apply. Because patients are not the same. You can't apply the protocol to everybody. There are some people you need to loosen up. There are some people you need to tighten up. There are some people you need to go down to the level of treating them like a child, or before they get to the point where they can come back to be at par with you in thought as an adult. So it does, because we are humans, we are emotional, and we feel for our patients. We feel for people who go through things like that, because we have the backdrop that anybody could have it. But it does not affect us to impact on our care. But we're human. We do have these emotions. And yes, our heart goes out to our patients. We consider that our patients are real human beings going through real situations.
I see. Well, for people who would use money as an excuse not to come, what would you say to them?
As in, they feel it's expensive. They don't have the money to come.
They don't have the money to come. Aside the fact that it's decentralized, you said it's in all hospitals, but I mean, the going cannot be going until something pushes you.
Exactly.
Right? So people have the idea that certain things are for rich people. Leave it for rich people to attend to it. If you feel you have a problem, you can go and take herbal medicine. Don't go to the hospital. You know, all of these things. How do you address that?
Okay, so there are genuine people who may not have financial
capabilities
or capabilities. That one is different. But I don't think you will go to any hospital and try to seek opinions and they would turn you back. So even if you don't have the money, unfortunately, mental health is not yet on health insurance. But in the polyclinics, I know that you would first go to the general side. So your insurance will take you to the general side. A general doctor will listen to you, then recommend psych care.
Specialist, yeah.
Even the general doctor will not let you go without giving you a prescription. So it's not an excuse. Maybe coming to a point of care for psychiatry, you may complain. But if you take your health insurance and you go to a general hospital and they assess you, let's just say you don't believe that it's a mental disorder. You go to a general hospital, your health insurance could let you see a doctor, and then a diagnosis will be made. Then if you are referred, then you will take it up. But even when a diagnosis is made, the complaints that you are presented with, the general doctor will give you medication. So if you can't sleep, they'll give you medication for it. If you're hearing voices, they'll give you a prescription. Because every doctor does some sort of mental training, psychiatric training. So every doctor goes through psychiatric training. So there's some knowledge, only that the psychiatrists are specialists
to deal with that
issue. So some first aid, let me put it in that category, some first aid could be introduced for this person. But progressively, they sometimes get worse. So it's really, I wouldn't encourage the person to say they don't have money, so they are staying. Because the more the symptoms get worse, then the care and the prognosis
becomes a lot even expensive, right? I see a mental health line on your shirt. You want to run that out real quick?
Oh, okay. So
for families and friends who feel like you need to call, you need to, let me just mention that real quick, 0800 678 678. Oh, easy. 0800 678 678. So if you need to call a facility, you need to maybe do real quick checks. Okay, can I bring this person to the hospital? Where can I go? Who do I speak to? And all of that, you can just call 0800 678 678, right? And that's how you get that done. And when I was asking you the last question, I spoke about herbal medicine. Is it advisable?
For now, I don't know about any herb that is meant to cure any mental disorder.
Okay.
So that's it from our end.
Yes, let's leave it there. Let's leave it for for that. But if you have any issues, don't start with herbal medicine. Don't start with self-medication. Don't say that, okay, Kojo in the other family started experiencing this and this is what they did. I mean, every patient is unique, right? And so you want to call is 080-678-678 and want to ask the regular, you want to ask questions and you want to know what is happening, where to take the person to. And you also want to be a good person to be a listening ear to such people. Don't just go ahead judging people. Why are you too quick to judge? Akwesi, stop that. Yeah, so thank you very much, Doc. This is, let me get doctor's name right, because just in case I make it to Kolebushu, now say I didn't mention her name also, she'll give me wahala.
That will not happen.
Dr. Nayele, Mensa, psychiatric resident and at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Let me take your last words before we go. Anything you want to say to our viewers before we check out?
So my last words will always go in favor of psychiatry and mental health. Mental health is real. Mental health is happening everywhere, in our communities, in our families, in our homes. Be a person that supports mental health care. Let's avoid stigma. Let's support people to get care. Let's encourage them to get the care that is needed. And if you are dealing with a mental health problem, know that you're not alone. We're here to support you. We're here to listen to you. And if you have a family member or you are a caregiver of a person that is living with mental health, know that it can only get better from here. You are the real MVPs, and we are proud of you.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, you are the real MVPs, and we're proud of you. You heard the good doctor, so don't go about judging people and all of that. Well, at 12 today, good things are going to be happening. First off, is judgment against unrelenting enemies. That's going to be our prayer focus on 1 Million Strong today. And Reverend Perpetual Eduse is going to be taking us. Reverend Perpetual is such a great minister of God. So you want to be a part of today's service. You can join Global 1 Million Strong, either on Facebook or YouTube, or you stay glued to Dominion TV and be part of this prayer. Look, to pray it shouldn't even come as a chore anymore, because look, you can't live, breathe, move without it. You don't know what's happening 2 minutes away from what's from your current time, okay? And so you always need to pray. Jesus says that man needs to pray lest they faint, which means for every minute that you don't pray, you're fainting. So get on with 1 Million Strong and get praying. And I know that God is going to answer your request. And also you shared testimony with us on Friday. Same 1 Million Strong. All right, so this is where we draw the curtains for today. My name is Precious Biadala. I will see you tomorrow.